After a full year of stacking silver exclusively, why am I switching to gold? It's no secret that I'm a big fan of silver stacking, but something is pulling me into gold. Or is it the other way around? Is something pushing me out of silver? Let's get into it. Silver and gold are both great for stacking, but gold has that obvious disadvantage of being really expensive. But that's not why I focused on silver this year. There are pros and cons of each. There are different stories driving silver and gold prices higher. On the gold side, you have record central bank gold buying. According to the World Gold Council, central bank gold purchases reached an all-time high in 2022 of more than 1,000 tons, accounting for a whopping 24% of total demand. While 2023 central bank buying has pulled back a bit, the final number for this year will still be massive. Gold has a history of performing well during economic turbulence, highlighting its value as a long-term strategic asset. With BRICS trying to wrestle control of world dominance away from G7 nations, it seems we're in a prolonged struggle with geopolitical turbulence in its wake. Yes, 2024 is going to be turbulent. A presidential election cycle in the U.S., and ongoing forever war conflicts around the globe. There is anything but peace and security in the world. But that's not the reason I started stacking gold again. The case for silver is more like an industrial metal. Although it tracks closely with gold, the gold to silver ratio does vary, but has stayed within a range for at least the last 3 years. The point is that silver has been closely tracking gold. But the case for silver is an interesting one, driven by the incomprehensible plan to electrify everything, drastically increasing demand well beyond what supply could ever fulfill. Photovoltaics, or PV, alone are expected to eat up the majority of supply within a few decades. PV demand is expected to rise significantly in the coming years due to renewable energy initiatives and climate concerns. Some forecasts suggest PV silver demand could potentially even exceed primary silver supply. Yikes! Silver has the potential to go mania and go double parabolic. Gold is much less likely. If I believe that, then why would I stop stacking silver? Long term, the stories for both gold and silver remain strong. Silver has captivated me all year simply because I didn't feel I had enough, and silver has been very, very cheap since October. But there is one inescapable truth surrounding silver stacking. You can avoid it for a while. You can put off the problem for another day until that day eventually arrives. And arrive it has. My safe is full. There is no more room to stuff new silver in there. I'm not a shoebox in the closet kind of guy. Hiding valuables in the freezer or cubby holes in the furniture isn't how I do business. Taking into consideration the security threats where I live and the types of potential natural catastrophes we're faced with, the only thing that makes sense to secure my valuables is a big, heavy metal fireproof box, and it's full. At a gold to silver price ratio of 80-1, it takes roughly 80 times more storage space to store silver as the same value of gold. This is the problem that all silver stackers are going to run into. Eventually, you're just going to run out of space. Now, at this point, I have a few options. I could get a bigger safe, which is probably the best way to go, but new, highly rated safes with the fire rating I'm comfortable with don't come cheap, and then there's the question of where do I find the extra room? Or I could just stack gold, which is what I'm doing. It's kind of a sad moment because there is so much variety in silver, so many different sizes, shapes, and designs. There is always something new to show on the channel. With gold, you get eagles, buffaloes, and maple leafs. That's pretty much it. I don't buy gold bars because they are very easy to fake, and there are many of them out there. If you're buying from a reputable dealer, there's no concern. But when it comes time to sell, it's a different story. Doing private party sales or eBay may not be an option then, which means you're limited to a dealer that can verify the gold. One other thing we could add in is pre-33 gold. That's something I've been wanting to get into. Gold with a little collector value could help bring some stability to the stack. That would be very, very cool. To have actual gold money, coins that when minted were intended to be used in circulation as currency. To have that tactile connection back to that time of sound money. Even modern bullion coins, as beautifully as they're crafted, can't compare to that. The third option would be to use a bullion storage service where your bullion is held off-site, out of your hands. That comes with new negatives, including storage fees and counterparty risk. Counterparty risk refers to the potential for a financial loss because a party in a financial transaction fails to fulfill their obligations. That would include bankruptcy, default, financial misrepresentation, and unexpected future events. My entire reason for stacking is to not have counterparty risk. You can diversify your investments with a 401k, stocks, bonds, etc. That's all fine. But those come with counterparty risk. Putting all your eggs in the counterparty risk basket is a risky strategy. When you take your fiat out of the system and put that into something tangible that you hold, that doesn't come with account maintenance fees, and that can't be depreciated. That's a single-party risk. You take the responsibility upon yourself to securely store your valuables, which is why a shoebox in the closet is out of the question. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. I like to be my own vault with security and cameras, and if you hold it, you better be prepared to defend it or insure it. I went with the S&W insurance route for those who are interested. Oh, and the fourth option, stop stacking. Not gonna happen. Let us know how you feel, and be sure to hit that like button if you found any of this useful. I would be so thankful because it truly does help the channel. If you're interested in seeing more content like this about safeguarding your future by stacking precious metals, be sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. Thanks for sticking around until the end. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.